If there's one thing I know, it's that the internet loves a good train wreck. The more ill-advised, poorly planned, and horrendously executed the event is, the more viral it will get. Joining the ranks of Hall of Famers such as Fire Festival and DashCon is the Glasgow Willy Wonka Experience, an event so terrible that the police were called. The experience was advertised as a magical, interactive chocolate wonderland for children with lovely AI-generated posters promising everything from Karchi Tuns to unexpected twits to a paradise of sweet teats. Unsurprisingly, what attendees got was far from wondrous. From scared, crying children to depressed Oompa Loompas to hordes of angry parents, this is the story of the Glasgow Willy Wonka Experience. Looking at the website for the unfortunately named Willy's Chocolate Experience, it's hard to believe that anyone paid £35, which is about 45 USD, to attend such a poorly conceived event. There are so many wonderfully terrible things about this website that just scream scam, chief among them being the insanely lofty promises. Attendees would start out in the Enchanted Garden, described as a garden filled with giant sweets, vibrant blooms, and magical surprises, where kids could collect magical beans of all shapes, colours, and sizes. They would then travel onto the Imagination Lab, TM, depicted here as a Salvador Dali-esque nightmare, the likes of which you'd only see on the most uncomfortable acid trip of your life. This area of the experience promised a surreal journey with optical marvels, quote-unquote mind-expanding illusions, and incredible visual spectacles. Last up was the Twilight Tunnel, again trademarked, quote, "In the Twilight Tunnel, get ready for an exhilarating and immersive adventure. Journey through a dimly lit passage adorned with captivating projections, enigmatic sounds, and surprising turns that will immerse you in suspense and excitement. It's a heart-pounding experience you've never experienced before." This description is accompanied by a poster advertising all of the many thrills of the Twilight Tunnel, including lighting, dimdically, dim-tight, twidderding, depractions, dojection, vivu sounds, and energemic sounds, so you know, they're really covering all of their bases here, ungrivel, svid, impretty, and of course, what tunnel would be complete without some unexpected twits? So yeah, by now you may have noticed that almost all of this website is AI generated. The URL is willyschocolateexperience.com, but it appears in the browser tab as Willy Chocolate Experience with chocolate being spelled wrong. The logo is clearly AI generated and makes it look like Willy's had a little chocolate accident. And that's far from the only thing that's been AI generated. One of the more widely publicized details of this train wreck was the AI generated images and posters advertising the event. Look at these horrible trypophobia-inducing candy clusters, these physics-defying lollipops, and these terrifying bunny creatures? I don't know what they are, but I don't want them anywhere near my Willy. The ones with text are the funniest. We've already looked at the Twilight Tunnel and its depractions and dojections, but what about this poster advertising entertaining entertainment? Come on down, Willy's Chocolate Experience has everything. Cat gacatting, Karchi Tuns, exacerbate lollipops, and a paradise of sweet teats. Looking at this website, it's pretty clear that House of Illuminati, the company that created the event, and yes, we'll get into them later, just fed an AI art generated these descriptions and it spat out these garbled piles of nonsense, sometimes just straight up including mangled versions of the description text. It's hard to believe that anyone looked at willyschocolateexperience.com and thought, this is a legitimate event that I should take my family to and pay real money for, and yet so many people did. I don't want to victim blame or anything like that, but it's almost impressive how little common sense you have to not only attend a scam event like this hosted at a random warehouse, but to also take your children there. As it would turn out, Willy's Chocolate Experience was anything but fun for the whole family, as shocked, confused, and terrified children and parents alike bore witness to Willy's horrible warehouse. I mean Willy's Chocolate Experience. So AI art sucks and it'll scam you into going into an abandoned warehouse filled with creepy creatures and men dressed as Willy Wonka. Actual art, on the other hand, is really cool, and if you want to learn how to draw, paint, sculpt, craft, or basically any other skill you can think of, let me introduce you to Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of classes led by industry pros, from art to film to cooking to exercise to music to crafting and so much more. Skillshare's learning paths are great to to get from novice to pro in no time. They're hand-picked classes meant to be taken in order to teach you a range of skills across so many different topics. The path I personally want to recommend is Procreate Basics, which will teach you how to navigate the interface, use brushes, add texture, explore effects, and create patterns in the wonderful, the beautiful, the amazing Procreate. I love Procreate so much, I actually use it all the time to make art, and if I had had someone to explain all the little tips and tricks and the ins and outs of the program, I would have gotten a lot better a lot faster. There are all kinds of learning paths and classes in all kinds of areas no matter what skill that you're interested in. So this new year, invest in yourself and your goals by taking a learning journey on Skillshare to take your creative passion or project to the next level. The first 500 people to use my link in the description will receive a 1-month free trial of Skillshare, so get started today. A huge thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this video, and now let's get back into the mess that was Willy's chocolate experience. Hopes were high on the morning of the 24th of February as countless families pulled up to the Box Hub warehouse in Glasgow. However, these hopes were soon dashed as they entered the venue and saw this. A giant empty warehouse sparsely decorated with underwhelmingly sized candy-themed props and inhabited by confusing characters played by poorly costumed actors who were equally as baffled as the attendees. So let me walk you through Willy's wonderful warehouse. Alongside the Dollar Tree candy decorations scattered throughout the warehouse, there was a bridge over a chocolate river, the chocolate itself just being a flat 2D brown paper printout. There were a lot of random dividers and what looked like black sheets hung up, presumably to segment the event into more of a walkthrough experience, but it just gives it this horribly dingy vibe. There was a camera set up in front of one of those shitty $2 plastic backdrop sheets with what looks like an AI generated print of what the experience was meant to look like on it. This one is so funny to me because there are so many photos and videos of this event from like every angle imaginable, and I have not seen one taken in front of this wall. If ever there's a time to take a photo that you and your kid can look back on in 20 years and laugh at, it's now in front of this sagging plastic backdrop. There was a bouncy castle tucked away in a dingy corner surrounded by like 50 tables and chairs, you know, for all the food that they served at the event. Yeah, there was no food at the event. The only reason that I can think of for all of the seating is that the warehouse just looked super big and empty and they wanted to fill up the space in the funniest way possible. The real stars of the show, quite literally, were the interactive Willy Wonka themed characters milling about the warehouse. And what is probably the most viral picture from the event, a depressed and defeated looking Oompa Loompa, though for copyright reasons they were called Wonky Doodles in this experience, in a cheap wig stands at a table, either performing experiments or getting blazed judging by all this smoke. There were actually 2 Oompa Loompas at the event, and despite that one picture making it look like they were despondent and or stoned out of their gourd for the whole event, other photos show them interacting with the kids and trying their best to make the experience fun for them. My favorite tweet to come out of the whole event is the one that likens one of the Oompa Loompas to a modern day Princess Diana because, you know what? They're right. The people's princess. These Oompas were in charge of handing out the pitiful candy rations to each child, 1 jelly bean and 1/2 cup of Tesco brand lemonade. That's not a joke. At the Willy Wonka Chocolate Candyland experience, kids were given 1 single jelly bean and half a cup of lemonade. Willy Wonka was there, of course, or sorry, should I say Willy McDuff, a character totally not based on the Roald Dahl character. There were actually 3 actors who played Willy who rotated throughout the experience, and part of that experience was introducing the 3rd and final character of Willy's chocolate experience, the Unknown. Yeah, for some unknown, pun intended, reason, Willy's chocolate experience, a whimsical chocolate wonderland for children, introduced a strange and horrifying character known as the Unknown. Dressed only in a silver mask and a large black cloak that covered its whole body, the Unknown hid behind a mirror and jumped out at groups of passing children, moving in stilted and unnatural motions.
What is that? It's the Unknown!
Willy McDuff, who stood to the side, proclaimed this creature as the Unknown, an evil chocolate maker who lived inside the walls of the chocolate factory. Though the script called for Willy McDuff to explain who the Unknown was and eventually confront it by sucking it up into a vacuum cleaner, the organizers quickly scrapped the scripts and left the actors to improvise, which hilariously meant that for most of the experience, the Unknown was just this unexplained character who for no reason at all was jumping out and scaring children. What makes this the funniest character to me is that Willy McDuff and the fucking Wonky Doodles are obviously based on pre-existing Willy Wonka characters, but the unknown is an entirely original character, do not steal. There's no evil wall-dwelling chocolate maker in the book or indeed any of the movies, so why they felt the need to add the scary formless being to jump out and scare kids is beyond me. Naturally, with how absolutely bonkers the concept of the unknown was, as well as the actor's hilariously freaky performance of it to an audience of crying children, the unknown became one of the biggest memes to come out of the event, with many predicting the character to become one of the hottest Halloween costumes of 2024. There's also tons of fan art of the unknown, which unironically is really awesome and also hilarious since one piece of unknown fan art on Twitter has like 1,000 times more heart and production value than the actual event it was based off of. About halfway through the event, a crowd of angry parents had formed around the organizer demanding refunds. At this point, the actors were told that the event was over, with several of them heading to the pub. Eventually, police were called to the event, with several squad cars turning up to the venue. Do you realize how bad a kid's Willy Wonka walkthrough experience has to be for the cops to be called? There wasn't even any violence or illegal activity, these people just got scammed so badly that they called the police. After the implosion of Willy's chocolate experience, angry attendees began hurling accusations at the actors present. However, it soon became clear that they were just as shocked and confused as the attendees were themselves. After the event blew up, many actors came out and did interviews shining light on just how terrible and disorganized the event was. The actors behind the Oompa Loompa duo were Kirsty Patterson and Jenny Fogarty, seen here on Good Morning Britain defending their names. Kirsty Patterson, depicted here in the iconic depressed Oompa Loompa image, did an interview with Vulture explaining how the event unfolded from her perspective. Quote, "You went to the warehouse on Friday for a dress rehearsal. What happened at that meeting? I was shocked, to be honest with you. I wasn't expecting it to be like that. It did seem like there was a production going, but to me it wasn't a finished production, just the start. It was the first time me and the other actors met. I've never had a script the night before ever in my life, so when I got the script the night before, I was like, oh, this is not..." Kirsty claimed that the actors were not given any makeup and that the costumes they were given last minute on the morning of the event were strange and cheap. She added that the entire quote-unquote experience would have taken about 2 minutes to walk through and that the actors were encouraged to improvise even though they had been given lengthy 10 to 15 page scripts that she suspected were AI generated. From the article, quote, "Tell me about the moment the kids started coming in. Did you see the innocence leave their eyes? They were quite upset. I think they were confused, but it was more the parents. I just looked at them and I think they must have known when they looked at me. An older couple said to me, I really hope you get paid well for this. And I was honest and I said, I'm this close to walking out. This is not what I signed up for. But I didn't want to let the people around me down. The actors I was working with were amazing people and this has got nothing to do with them. So I just thought, I'm gonna make the best of this. When the first round of kids came in, don't get me wrong, it's still an incredibly shockingly bad set, but we did our lines and everything well. We just had a bit of fun with it. I don't know how else you can put sprinkles on shit, but we were trying to be the sprinkles on shit. I was just going around and feeling really embarrassed. After we did it the first time, the organizers were like, just abandon the script and let the guest walk through. There were actually 3 actors for Willy McDuff, one of which was 18-year-old Michael Archibald, who claimed that it was his first ever acting gig and that he was given the script at 6 PM on the evening before the event, and that it was about 15 pages of AI generated gibberish. The most prominent and outspoken Willy was actor and comedian Paul Connell. Though originally heralded as a hero and invited to speak with many news publications and sites about his experience, he was soon milkshake ducked as allegations came out about him grooming a 16-year-old student while he was teaching at a drama school. TikTok user Annie Louise Lewis posted a TikTok claiming that Connell had groomed them and started dating them when they were 16 and his student, leading to them getting kicked out of the drama school once others found out. These allegations led to him shutting down his Twitter account and going silent amidst the backlash. All of this is to say, the optics of having this guy play the jolly, whimsical Willy Wonka to an empty warehouse full of children was not great. Naturally, the public was champing at the bit to discover the mysterious identity of the unknown. Despite many news outlets describing the unknown as a tall, masked man, the public was shocked when a 16-year-old girl came out on TikTok to unmask herself as the actor behind the unknown.
Hello, it's Felicia, and this is my official unknown face reveal. So, yes. Hello, I'm Felicia, I'm 16, and I am the unknown.
Thankfully, despite how terrible the event was, Felicia and indeed many of the other actors have actually been really good-natured about it. They've been able to look back and laugh at the absurdity while also condemning House of Illuminati who scammed all of these parents. And on that note, let's talk about House of Illuminati and the man behind it, Billy Cool. Though the appropriately mysterious and shady name makes House of Illuminati seem like an official business or entertainment company, it's not. House of Illuminati, which was incorporated in November of 2023, mere months before the actual event took place, is one of several shady companies created by quote-unquote entrepreneur Billy Cool, who is also the sole employee of all of them. Additionally, in the summer of 2023, he independently published 17 AI-generated novels, including Operation Inoculation, a quote-unquote conspiratorial journey into vaccination truths, and Selling Innocence, described as a novel about a human trafficking survivor who navigates a treacherous landscape filled with politicians, clergymen, celebrities, and billionaires, with supposed themes of QAnon conspiracies and misinformation about Jeffrey Epstein, according to Rolling Stone. Billy Cole also co-directed a now-defunct food bank in Glasgow that he claimed fed thousands. Reddit user The Princess of Pink 83 wrote on the topic, quote, "Last time he did this, he advertised an event at the Doubletree Hilton, a charity gala dinner for the Gowan Bank Hub, which he was running at the time. That event didn't exist. How do I know? Because he didn't hire the space and that's how he got caught out. This time he'll have wanted to make sure that when people called up to check with the venue that the event existed, that he had it booked." All of this alongside a trail of defunct and shady businesses that Billy either created or was a part of paints the picture of a man who has an extensive history of scamming dating back years. It's only been recently with the rise and popularization of AI that Billy's scams have become more lazy, relying on AI to churn out garbage right-wing conspiracy books on Amazon, and now seemingly using an AI program to plan an entire event for him. From the long rambling and nonsensical plot and character scripts to the confusing and messy website descriptions, it seems like Billy used ChatGPT every step of the way to generate ideas and plans which very clearly didn't translate into real life. House of Illuminati later issued an apology to attendees, writing, quote, "Unfortunately, at the last minute we were let down in many areas of our event and tried our best to continue on and push through, and now realize we probably should have cancelled first thing this morning instead. We fully apologize for what has happened and will be giving full refunds to each and every person that purchased tickets. We planned a fabulous event and it just did not take shape as planned, and for that we are truly sorry. We are devastated at how this has turned out and understand people's anger and frustration that everyone has had. Refunds have already started being issued and the rest should be over the coming days. Again, we are truly sorry to everyone." Honestly, I'm wondering if they AI generated that apology because that was hard to read.
What looks like a sort of slight homage to a nuclear fallout shelter.
Willy's Chocolate Experience has become one of the biggest viral news stories of 2024, with countless articles, interviews, news reports, and YouTube videos dedicated to telling the woeful tale of Willy. The actors have all been thrust into the spotlight, turning this otherwise dismal acting gig into an opportunity to actually get their names out there. One of the Oompa Loompas is even capitalizing on the story by doing cameos. Good for her. As previously mentioned, the internet has been flooded with fan content, from amazingly inventive and creepy fan art of the unknown to renditions of the Glasgow Willy Wonka Experience in Quentin Blake's iconic style, to headcanons of the depressed Oompa Loompa and the unknown working together to escape the chocolate factory. The immense creativity that has gone into these ironic fan works really speaks to the indomitable creativity and passion of the human spirit. Even from the most morally corrupt and soulless AI scam has come some of the coolest, most creative art pieces, and I think that's really neat. Humans can be really cool. In less inspiring news, an article was widely published across the internet claiming that a horror movie based on the Glasgow Willy Wonka Experience titled The Unknown was scheduled for a late 2024 release date. The synopsis read, quote, "It follows a renowned illustrator and his wife who are haunted by the tragic death of their son, Charlie. Desperate to escape their grief, the couple leave the world behind for the remote Scottish Highlands, where an unknowable evil awaits them." Though this news sparked outrage among those who are sick of cheap, gimmicky movies piggybacking off of internet memes, the legitimacy of this announcement has been called into question. The production company Caledonia Pictures is not a registered UK company and was made mere days after the event blew up. Additionally, their website is incredibly bare bones and sparse. Whether The Unknown actually comes out out is up in the air, but what definitely is certain is by the time that this video comes out, the Willy's Chocolate Experience meme will already be dead. As most memes these days, this one started out small, with a few users on Twitter posting the iconic images from the event, as well as the hilarious Facebook groups created by spurned attendees where they were calling the organizer Willy Wonka. This is objectively hilarious, and everyone had a good laugh at it. And then came the news reports and the interviews and the articles and the fanfiction and the fan art, and then the copy-pasted low-quality articles absolutely everywhere, and now the soulless cash grabs in the form of games and movies and spin-off parody experiences. What started off as one of the most absurd and hilarious situations of this year will inevitably become beaten into the ground because people love to beat a dead horse, and the internet churns through a lot of horses these days. If there's anything good to come out of this whole garbage fire, it's the fact that Billy Cool has been exposed as a scammer and a fraud. Before Willy's Chocolate Experience, he was able to set up fake events and companies, scam people, and then dip before repeating the whole process over and over again. The sheer virality and scale of how disastrous this event was, especially with the police being called, will make it a lot harder for him to get away with it in the future. As of the posting of this video, a few attendees have confirmed that they received refunds, but many haven't been reimbursed, including several of the actors involved. Even though this joke is already unfunny and lame, the unknown will forever live in my heart, peeking menacingly from behind a mirror and scaring children. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I really hope that you enjoyed the video. This is definitely one of the biggest situations of 2024 so far. The biggest thing that's been like viral online. I definitely haven't seen something get to this scale in a long time. So it's been very interesting seeing the internet public's reaction to it. So I really hope that you enjoyed it. Were you at the Willy Wonka Glasgow experience? If so, why? And even if you weren't there, I would love to know your thoughts. Do you think it's silly? Do you think it's hilarious? Do you think Billy Cool should go to jail for 1,000 years? Let me know down below. As always, let me know if there's any video topics that you want me to cover in the future. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I really hope to see you in the next one. Bye! A huge thank you to my Garfield overlords over on Patreon: Jar the Bar, Zoe Mars, Sophie H, Thy Heavenly, Leanne O, Hazy, Jet Secret, Oliver Brains, Blue Mayfeld, Katrina Likes 5e Stuff, Michelle Olsen, Matt LRJ, A Riddle Wrapped in Enigma Hidden by a Question Mark, Chicory, Doug, Dana Homegardener, Charlie B, Simon, Xavier Araujo, Helm Hamburger Hand, Dozo Blint, Sheriff Whiskey, Astrian Vortex, Jesse Chisholm, Lee XX, Grip Gunderson, and Joe Bradshaw. Thank you guys so much for supporting me. It means the world. If you want to join these guys over on Patreon, the link will be in the description. And yeah, thank you guys so much for supporting me. It means the world, and I really hope to see you in the next one. Bye!